This is a Russian army soldier from the aggregate plant, right?
Yes, it's exactly.
From what purpose did you go to war? From prison?
I wanted to be released from
Yes.
prison, rehabilitate, and receive a full amnesty and annually so that my children can live in peace and
Yes.
have future.
Who started the war?
It was Russia.
From what purpose?
The Russian Federation invaded to expand the territory, as I understand it. Writing off old weapons, testing new weapons, writing off troops that are unwanted, cleansing the population.
That is, you understand everything perfectly.
Yes.
So he's not stupid.
Certainly.
Right? Yes. In this fair war, you need to tread carefully now.
I express my opinion.
Well,
there
yes,
will be
let's
no
express
other.
it then.
I say no, this is not
No?
a fair war.
Finally, when did you sign the contract?
It was March 7th or 8th.
It was in March.
Yes.
What unit did you belong to?
I ended up in Kursk at
it a division name?
165 SRB. Separate Reserve Battalion.
Let's move on to Volchansk. How and when did you end up at the Volchansk aggregate plant?
After this incident, they sent me away. To be honest, I don't know what this place is called. They were met by a warrior whose call sign is Taiga. If I'm not
Yeah.
mistaken, he is an officer of Brigade
Yeah.
138. They met us, accommodated us. There were 50 people who arrived. And firstly, they told us... Oh, I don't even remember what they told us when they put us into cars.
Yes.
When we were there, they first drove in one direction and then stopped and said that we were going to another place.
Volchansk?
Belgorod.
Yeah.
That's all. We arrived there at night. This place is located about 15 kilometers from Volchansk.
Yes.
There's a hangar there. This is the most I know. There is also a
Was it
roundabout there.
Shebekina?
It would be logical if it were Shebekina, but it's well.
I know that there is a trail there, a dirt road, and here is a roundabout. We arrived there and we were told to wait. We had a rest. Literally the next day, half of the soldiers were taken away.
What date was it?
It was around June 4th or 5th.
It was June.
Yes. They take people away. They are leaving. There were 26 people who stayed with me. Then 2 more are added. They are from hospital.
Yeah.
Their call signs were Pashtet and Yemeda. They were added to us and they say that we are leaving for the forest tonight. Then we had to go in fighting machines. They promised to take us to the very outskirts of the city. They said that they would tell us
Did
everything,
you go to the
show us
outskirts of the city
everything.
of Volchansk?
That's right. They said that they'll take us there, tell us the task, show us everything and equip us. The result on these infantry fighting vehicles at 3 o'clock in the morning we went into the city center. There they simply started shooting at us with all their weapons. I jumped off this infantry fighting vehicle and it just turned around and drove away. I called the commander on the radio set and he shouted to me, "What are you whining about? Is that what a soldier says? Did you cry there or what?" I asked, "What is the platoon's mission? Tell me, what should we do?" The answer is silence. I asked, "Where should we go?" He said that about 150 meters ahead there is a hangar which seems to be ours. The point is called 1-5. I said I don't have a card, they didn't give me anything. He rudely showed me the direction where to go.
Yeah.
That's, the entire platoon is divided. Rugly speaking, it was from the church to the tower where I was. Everyone split up in 2s, 3s, and there were even individuals.
How many people were there?
Were there 28 people?
There were 28, 26 of them came from infantry fighting vehicles. 2 people died on the way.
It's well.
And I and one more man who call sign was Riji. I hide with him in one of the houses.
Are we already talking about a complex of buildings at the plant?
No. This is the road and the factory is further beyond the meadow. So I jump into this building trying to get in touch. They are trying to explain something to me, give me some coordinates. I don't understand the coordinates. Heading to this, the artillery shell and begins. It was not strong shelling, but even so it was the shelling. So I'm trying to concentrate. I understand that this is somewhere directly. It was straight through a concrete open field.
Yeah.
But it turns out I can say we were lucky because we ran first to one building, then along the fence we ran, and I was already walking completely exhausted because of this shocking situation. It's a truly shocking situation. And there they shout, come on, come on, come on, come on, we're ours. I already looked and didn't understand. We entered this building, which was called the admin office. They met us there, asked who we were, and I began to explain to them. No, it was not on the 5th of June. We went there on the 8th in the morning. I told you the first group left on the 5th of June. We arrived on the 8th of June.
It took you 3 days to move there from the landing site.
No, it was not. There were 24 people who left on the 5th of June.
Yes.
And then we arrived in the forest on the 7th, and on the 8th of June at 3 o'clock in the morning we left in an infantry fighting vehicle. We were the second group.
That's right.
That's for about 2 days. Everyone gathered slowly. Senior groups were appointed. They had a radio set. They tried to somehow set up interaction, but there were still no coordinated actions and guidance.
Yes.
We asked the authorities what the task was, but they were all silent. Then we were very hastily sent to storm the police building. That's...
I want to clarify for myself.
Yes.
How many personnel were in total at the aggregate plant as of 8th of June? I mean, all divisions, but not only yours.
How many
Everyone
of
was
us were there?
gathered.
There
Both
were,
you and those who were there before you.
There were about 60 people.
Were there 60 people in all buildings?
Yes.
I got it, okay. Have you been sent on assault?
Yes, we were divided into groups. We were sent for an assault. Since I was concussed, I handed over control to Borya. That was his call sign. Borya. He sent the first group without means of communication. The group arrived without firing a single shot, but without means of communication.
Yes.
We didn't know about this, and we, as the second group, had to go. We had a radio set with us in the second group. So, and we didn't even get to the police. We reached a garage with an extension which was nearby.
What happened to the first group?
No, I told you the first group got there without communication, but it got there without firing a single shot.
Yes.
Yes, it turned out there was no one there. We went as a second group because the first group did not get in touch. We had a shootout, but we didn't get there. We suffered great losses. There was a place called Parfumeria. We got a lot of beatings heading to this. There were drones. We retreated because there were many wounded and dead. By the way, there is one of the prisoners of war who is here in the camp whose call sign is Beda. He was also there during the assault. We retreated back to the factory. Everyone is wounded. After that, the assault ended for us. There was no specific task received from our leadership or command, and roughly speaking, we were just sitting at the factory.
What was the situation there when you and your group showed up at the plant? Was it fortified in case of an assault, or was it not? Did you have enough ammunition? What was the global atmosphere like there?
If we took ahead to every recent events, then in principle nothing has changed. Only people became even more tired over time. And so we arrived and saw that everyone was shocked. Also, the command simply did not respond to requests or
What did
answer
you ask?
questions. We asked for simple things, food and water. That is, I believe that for Russia this should not be a problem. Simply must be established. Instead, we asked for water.
Don't swear, don't swear.
So, there was also the combat kit not spent much because there were a relative calm at the plant at that time.
Was the combat kit enough? How was it in your opinion as a professional
Well,
militaryman?
That would be enough for a couple attacks.
That would be enough.
Yes, it's exactly.
You don't look like someone who hasn't eaten.
Or if it you ate poorly. We just have other prisoners here in the camp. We told you that they are very thin.
Can I say, I saw a prisoner who lost 40 kilograms in 3 months.
Maybe.
No,
I saw-
wait. He did not lose weight in captivity. He lost weight at the aggregate plant. That is, Chris begins to appear on his stomach. This is when it's almost anorexia.
In the first stage of anorexia.
Yes, that's it. Sit down because they can see me. There is a camera there. So, he doesn't speak as cheerfully as you because he's really there. He has tiredness.
He has
dehydration. Well, he speaks slowly. So he says that there was no food at all at the factory, and this can be seen from him. When asked how much he weighed now, he says, well, I weighed approximately, somewhere around 40 kilograms. He also said that before this, he weighed more than 80 kilograms. When he called his wife via video call, she did not recognize him and asked who it was. She didn't recognize him because he had become very thin. Accounting that I saw your clear thinking and you know that I saw your physical condition, I assert that you were not starving. I state this unequivocally.
Well, I went through this malnutrition, lack of food, and I will tell you here without pangs of conscience that we all drank our urine because there was simply no water.
I know that.
If this is not starvation for you, well, then count it like I did not starve.
Sergey, why do you look
I don't know this.
externally? You look much better than others.
Adding to this, thanks to you, I've already been eating normally for 4 days.
No,
it was
well,
really normal.
this is nonsense. 4 days would not have changed
I
anything.
told you how it is. It's
Yes,
up to you
that's
to decide.
understandable.
I haven't eaten anywhere separately. I cooked the food, I gave it away, and I didn't put an extra piece in my pocket.
People just can't be so different. I saw 4 people and they all look the same.
Everything is possible in this life.
You can even fly into space.
Yes.
Shall we fly?
Yes.
Where should I call?
This is your own business. I told you how it happened, and I have nothing to hide.
Do you think that your good physical shape also helped you to be in a normal state?
Yes, it's possible.
Why am I deceiving myself? Well, just like that. Look, let's do it differently then. So that you understand the essence of what is happening. Today will be a conversation with the first prisoner on the channel. He
I
is also
understand.
from the factory. After which an interview with the second one will be published. After these 2 interviews, we will publish an interview with you. They all told trash that I can't get into my head. All the people who have seen the announcements and trailers all say that you are scum.
In what sense is it? Tell me.
Why aren't you people? What were you doing there? Why do subscribers write that people
Subscribers
can't
wrote that.
do this? Tell us. This is what someone else said.
I don't understand. What do you mean?
Look, people usually don't drink their own urine.
Well, that's clear.
It's clear. It's firstly. What else happened there at the aggregate plant that wouldn't get into the head of a normal person?
Tell me, what did you eat? From what in theory people usually do not eat in European culture.
Well, there was nothing like that.
Did you eat dogs or cats?
They ate, but not at our position.
I have a feeling that this complex of buildings and that complex of buildings live different lives, you know? And they're the difference.
Well, okay. Those prisoners with whom I talked, I don't know. As far as I understand, they are from another complex.
Yes.
As far as I understand, the FPV drones mostly flew to you, right?
Almost everything was right.
They were with parcels.
Then our chief, the senior group, separated that and called the senior positions. He told them what
How
had
many
arrived
people
and
came for
divided it among
provisions?
everyone. It depends on what time you're asking about. I mean,
For
what month it
example,
was.
what about September? It was on the 10th of September.
There was practically nothing flying there on the 10th of
It's
September.
fine. What about the 10th of August?
Well, there were about 17 or
There were
20
70 or
people.
20 people. As far as I understand, the mechanics were the next. I don't know how it was there. This is your position in the building, right?
Yes.
Here is the position, for example, of some other gang of yours, and there was still a gang somewhere, right?
Well, it's not just one. There were
I got
many
it.
positions.
Drones flew, roughly speaking, here.
This is what you call a tower or administrator.
Yes, it was administrator.
This is the place from which they ran to you, took away what you gave them.
Yes, what Krasavchik gave.
That food gave Krasavchik.
Yes. That is, for example, 10 packs of pasta arrived. So, for example, there are 10 people here, which means they need 1 pack of pasta and 1 pack of stew. There are 20 people here, so they need 2 packs of
Do you
pasta and 2
think that
packs of
he
stew.
divided fairly?
Yes. Yes, I think he was fair.
Okay, he divided depending on the number of people in positions, or it was...
It was depending on the number of people in the position and how much food arrived. It might not have come at all, and we simply didn't eat, that's all.
But you didn't catch or eat ducks, did
No.
you? What about
No.
mice? And what about goats?
We ate it.
How was it? Who killed this goat?
To be honest, I didn't get into it. Well, he ran out. If you know, here the administration, and
Yes.
there is a school in front of it.
Who ate the dog and then left it lying there?
I don't know who ate it, but this was the farthest position.
Here is your administration.
Yes,
It's
it's
probably
exactly
here.
right. I got it. I get it.
There were rumors about the dog, but I can't confirm this. But I know for sure about the dog. But here at the position, this did not happen.
Have you heard about cases of cannibalism? Or
No.
someone say that they ate...
No, well, I know what it is, but it didn't happen here.
Do you think people would have committed cannibalism if they had continued to be under siege?
You know, I was so crazy that I thought maybe to cut my hand a little and drink the blood because I was thirsty.
It's fine. More precisely, nothing is fine, but still we return to it. How many people were killed here who were running to get food?
We mean these couriers.
The couriers.
I can't tell you for
Well,
sure.
it's approximately.
Well, it was probably 4 couriers who were killed. If we count the wounded people, then, well, probably 12 more people were wounded.
Who determined couriers?
They
Those who
went
took
on
the
their
provisions.
own.
Huh?
They went themselves, thinking that they would succeed.
Those were volunteers.
Yes. There were no cases where the commander
Wasn't
himself
there
forced
something
people
like
to run.
that where the wounded were
No.
forced to run?
No.
How many wounded did you have?
All soldiers were wounded.
How many were wounded during this period? I mean, July, August, September. And how many wounded died?
Do you mean those who died not receive medical
Yes,
care?
and there are also for other reasons.
The reason is blood loss, for example.
Well, there are about 20 people.
Did you have contact with the base?
There was a radio station that could contact the elders at each position.
You had the right to speak with Yenot, who was the battalion commander, as far as I know.
Yes.
Who had the right to contact him?
Everyone had the right to call him, and in the event of an emergency, a report of failure of a tank or artillery, the positions were immediately reported specifically
Yes.
there. Or not only there were also Volga and Bates. That is, we reached out to them. We were immediately contacted about reports, not with
So you could call
Krasavchik, but with
directly,
them.
right? It's not necessary that
Yes.
everything be done through Krasavchik. Okay.
How many parcels were there on average per day?
In the most ideal period, there were 7 parcels. That is, if all parcels could fly to us.
But there were almost all of them.
No.
How much then?
They could extremely rarely fly to us.
7 is a very small amount of parcels.
7 parcels are not enough.
It's fine.
The bird can bring 2.5 kilograms.
Well, it's because they are delivered by FPV and not by cargo drones.
Yes, I understand that. So, what else did they need FPV drones for? They got batteries out.
We already figured this out ourselves.
How did you charge the radio?
We were taking apart FPV drones. We did it through the block, a regular power bank. It was just not digital, but a point-based one. And we did it through its board, battery,
They
and
came up with
this is
the
how it
idea.
worked. This was caught, if I'm not mistaken.
In short, they had the thing set up from the very beginning. FPV drones were sent to them specifically so that they can continue to
no,
use
this
them.
did not happen. You're saying
I'm
it wrong.
saying what I heard.
Well, I'm telling you, it was completely different.
At what point did you start charging this way?
They kept sending us power banks, and when I got there were power banks and only power banks. There was an entire bag of empty power banks, and we could not send them. I don't know how they did, but somehow they got there. And for some reason, what I remember, there were precisely the point ones which show in charging that there is 1.23. You can charge through them, but
Okay.
not through digital
How
ones.
many suicides were there?
I know for sure about 2 cases.
How many killings of your own soldiers were there?
Do
What
you
about
mean
execution?
executions?
Nothing
There
like
were
that
no
happened.
cases. Where I was, I don't
Didn't
know
it
anyone
happen
who
in any
was shot
position?
away. It didn't happen in any position. I don't know if
Wasn't
anyone
it like
killed
someone,
anyone.
for example, stole someone else's
That
food?
was.
How did you punish them for this?
We beat them, and also we could verbally punish them. We were really loyal.
Yeah.
In fact, I had 5 chocolates for my birthday last night. There
Yeah.
were 2 of them left in the morning. We found him. He,
So,
of course, got
where
punched
did they
in his
go?
face.
Don't swear. So,
That was the end of it.
When was the last time chocolates came to you?
It turned out that they sent us chocolates for my birthday.
When is this?
It was the 7th of September.
17th of September. Congratulations.
Thanks a lot.
Congratulations.
We received chocolates. I divided them among everyone, ate them,
Who is
and left
Krasavchik
them
by
for the
rank?
morning. He is private.
Was there a special forces group of 6 people in this position?
How many were there? Were there 6 or 3 people?
I don't know about 6. I know 3 who were.
Who are they?
I have already talked about them. These are Knyaz, Turist, and Holod.
Who are they? Where are they from? As I understand it, they are not regular staff, but were seconded, right?
They were sent to the factory, as I understand it.
Who were they? Well, let's just not lie. Who were they by type of army? Were they scouts or paratroopers or MTR operators?
What does your military experience say?
Counting that, I know the correct answer.
Sorry, tell me, what's your name?
Dmitri.
Dmitri, we are now engaged in a dialogue, and you tell me not to lie. I haven't had time to say anything yet,
Because
and
I
you
already
treat me with
understand from my
prejudice.
experience what the answer will be.
Which answer will be? I'm trying to remember the name of the abbreviation. You start saying that I'm deceiving you.
That's it. Let's be calm, gentlemen. Let's get back to
It
productive
was
dialogue.
SSFB. I don't remember the number. In part, SSFB is a separate special forces brigade. There's 3 of them were from there.
So?
I believe that their task was to scout and observe the brigades, as well as approaches where the road leads to the church.
But globally, do you assume that
They
they
did
could
not
simply
fulfill this
control your
task literally at
contingent?
all.
Could this be?
It was hardly.
Why?
Well, if you control the contingent, then you have to go everywhere, somewhere, ugly speaking, to
Yeah.
sniff out. But there was no such thing from them. They were constantly
They
in one
sat
place.
in this very administrative building all the
Yes,
time.
yes, they were behind the boxes. Moreover, tourist who was older than others, he was generally somewhere constantly out of sight. He was almost invisible.
Were they supplied separately?
Yes,
Did they have their own packages?
yes.
You say that once you were able to look at the contents of their package, right?
This only happened because they had already left and we found their packages.
Yeah.
All their parcels had tourists written
So?
on them. We opened it and were, of course, happy with the food that was inside this parcel, but it was unpleasant that all the parcel that came to them, how can I say this correctly? They came for all of us.
Did they take everything
Yes,
for themselves?
Roughly speaking, they took everything for themselves. They sometimes took something out. Well, they gave us
For
a
general
candles too.
food.
Yes, for example, they gave us half a pot
What
of
was
pasta.
in their package?
There were chocolates, vitamins, and ready-made cereals.
Was there water?
No, there was no water because there was a well. We dug a well.
I know, there were 2 wells as far as I could find out.
Well, the second one has been around for a long time, and it was the Ukrainians who
Yeah.
opened it.
I got it.
This is how it even works out.
What was the quality of the water from the well you dug?
And, well, look, I think that precisely because it is a factory, there are machines and oil and diesel fuel. And before, as far as you know, it was impossible to sell to take away. And diesel fuel was poured onto the ground. So that is, at first, the water was with much the smell
Yeah.
of diesel fuel. But there also was clay, of course, but clay is nonsense because
It's natural.
it has settled, and clay will not harm you if you drink. Well, almost all the smell of diesel fuel went away after about 4 days. That is, when we brought water, we needed to leave it open
You
for 2
settled the
hours,
water.
and smell was gone.
This was your salvation as far as I understand.
This was a very big salvation.
When did the special forces leave?
Well, it was somewhere around the end of August.
Was it before the assault?
Yes, of course.
What did they say before to leave?
That's it. We have a different task there. That is, our brigade has generally left for another part of
Yeah.
the front. You know where and what's happening there. They said we have another task. That's it. We need to leave. I'm sorry. Yes, they all left.
Please, sit down.
Tell me please, let's do it
Wait,
then.
did they have their own connection?
Yes.
Yes.
Didn't you hear what they said, how they said it?
I don't know many of the details. I didn't really watch it, but constantly while talking on the radio, they were almost hiding.
I got it, it's okay. What professions did each of them have?
They were ordinary shooters. Tourist was the senior of them.
What kind of weapons did they have?
They have regular machine guns.
You say they didn't stand out externally, right?
They didn't stand out in any way and asked that there be no announcements on the radio that they were here.
Yeah. Did you notice their shoes? Was there something better than yours?
Well, they bought everything, and I remember that 2 of them had expensive tactical shoes.
Did you know special forces are always given shoes? Pay attention to their shoes, gentlemen.
They were officers, right?
No, they weren't.
Why do you say that?
It's based on their words.
What does it mean?
Well, I asked them, what ranks do you have? They say our commander stayed there. Well, they exactly say that he was afraid to come here.
Did they say they're privates?
And we were not afraid to go to the
Yes, I
factory.
agree. Was it even possible to do?
Well, I didn't know. I wouldn't be the first to go to Bryansk if it were possible.